Monday trading sessions are sometimes the hardest. Today we took a long trade on the open of the market and we absolutely nailed the trade today. Now, this is a new series we are starting with you guys to reflect on our day, to reflect for ourselves, start a trading journal, and definitely help you guys become better and profitable traders alongside with myself, staying accountable and staying on my game. So a quick $674.66 today, which was quite incredible. A beautiful trade setup. Not an easy trade setup, probably a B setup. We typically always look for an A+ setup on the live streams, but we did not get that today. But there was enough confluence to justify why we got long today. So this is a trade we did take today, and obviously an amazing move, a beautiful 3% move, but hey, we can always be better. You're never going to trade perfectly, and you're never going to be able to maximize every single part of your trading, whether it's entry, whether it's taking profits, whether it's your stop loss. You always want to do one thing well, and that's risk management. So we did take this on the live today. So if you are new here and you haven't seen me before, we go live Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. till 10 a.m., crushing the markets, and we take these trades. So this was a trade. Now in context, we always have to zoom out and look at our setup for the day, and we use Market Cipher to kind of analyze where we're at. We use the 4, the 3, the 2, and the 1 hour to see where we're at, and we could see that we were bearish diverting this morning, looking for a rejection to come back and grab this liquidity. So I was actually favoring shorts this morning, funny enough, and we took a long. So it shows that you can't always go off of what you see on the higher term time frames to justify a shorter term time frame trend, but we can see that Bitcoin is absolutely ripping here. We had some accumulation and we were looking for the continuation to the upside as well, but we did expect some liquidity grab before continuing, but nonetheless we jumped into the long today. So when we zoom in and we zoom in some more, there was some things pointing to the right direction here. So what was the trade? How did we take the trade? Let's go over to the 5-minute, and I do have these vertical lines on my trading chart here to kind of identify when our trading session starts and when it kind of ends for the day. Okay, so you always want to be back testing within key areas. For me, I trade the open, right? So I'll get prepared around 7. We'll be on the live at 8, and then we look to take advantage of price action, typically until about noon if there is more trade setups to be had, okay? But nonetheless, we took one trade today, and that was a long off of here. Now, I am a Vwap trader. I do like standard deviation bands, and we were looking at this thing to get rejected, but this is how it went. So first and foremost, we can see we're consolidating. We have that $100,000 resistance above us. That's psychological resistance. We want to see a support and resistance flip, but nonetheless, we were coming down. Now, we stalled out here for a minute. Now, this was the interesting part of our session here. So we started our live stream. We can see VWAP holds, and it continues to push up. Now, I was like, you could justify a long off of VWAP here this morning, trying to get long and look for a continuation pattern. Here's justifying it by, a higher low continuation here, money flow crossover, continuation upwards. However, knowing we're going into the market open here, I wanted to be cautious. Now, what happened was we did not take this trade just off of this idea here because we didn't feel confident enough for a continuation. Going into market open, we could see that we rolled over prior to. So market open is right here at 9:30. Okay, so this is where we got into the trade. Is just before there on this wick in here. So what happened was we rolled over prior to market open, and we came down in here. Now, what I was looking for is if we closed below this low, mitigating this low in here, we could have simply looked for a continuation short trade. Okay, so we came down in here. We swept the liquidity in here. We did not close below the liquidity here, giving me a 5-minute candle close below here would justify that, hey, this is a downtrend, even though we broke the low here. This is a downtrend, and we can look for some sort of continuation trade down. No, all we did was sweep the liquidity in this low here, and then we bounced aggressively back up to VWAP, stalled out where I justified taking the long, and there was some other things pointing in the right direction. Now, what was pointing in the right direction? What gave us the confidence to take this trade? Well, you can see that we stalled out here all the way until pretty much 9:36 and then we took off around 939. So 936. I use the NASDAQ as confluence. So looking in here, when we zoom in on the NASDAQ, we can see that we started to rip at 925, 920. So the NASDAQ had swept the lows and bounced, okay? So there's one confluence that we came in here, we swept the lows, and we had bounced. So the NASDAQ was already ripping before we took this long. So this is giving me the confidence in order to take this trade. Also, the S&P, still drawn out, okay? I haven't changed this at all. Before price action even materialized, we noticed that, this thing hadn't caught up. We were drawing brontosaurus patterns and having a good old time on the live stream, which you should come over and hang out in. But we had gapped up and we had seen strength. So strength is pushing to the upside, justifying our Bitcoin position. So if we could reclaim VWAP, we could look to continue. Now, I got long a little bit early, putting in a half a position size. Now, typically, I would have gone full position size, but I needed to have a little bit more wiggle room on my stop loss because typically I trade with a 0.3 stop loss looking for a 1% move. That is kind of my criteria. Looking to make risking 300 to make 900 is kind of what I'm looking for every single day. But I needed to put my stop loss below here. So I needed to go half position size in order to justify a big stop loss like that. Okay. And looking to take profits along the way. So we ripped. We continued all the way up here and we popped off as expected. Now, in reflection, for me, I'm struggling a little bit with taking profits a bit early. Okay. So for me, I took profits on the explosion to the upside here that we had to the highs here. So I take profits here, right? And I only took out 25%, which isn't bad, right? 25%. And then I took profits again, another 25% up at the mitigation of the highs in here. Okay. So I had already taken 50% of my trade out already, where I would have preferred to take 25% of my trade probably at the highs here, okay? That would have been a good take profit for me, not taking 50% of my trade, which is a lot of my trade, okay, to take out 50% in here. And yes, I was long from here, and there's my 1% move, so this is justifiable. However, with these runners, right, you don't get a move like this all the time, okay? You definitely don't get this. And, with a half a position size, I'm looking to make $450. Well, I clearly made more money on the continuation of this trade. However, for me, I'm trying to take profits a little bit later than I typically do, right? Sometimes you just want to guarantee profits and put stop loss to entry. And especially on a live stream, trading in front of other people, you really want to protect the new person who's trading. And, you say take profits, stop loss to entry to make sure that if it does come against you, at least you're guaranteeing your audience some sort of profits. This is never financial advice, but that sometimes there's a responsibility to the new trader who doesn't know how to manage size, who doesn't know how to manage their risk properly yet. It took me a little bit of time to figure that out, that you want to be protecting these kind of people. So for me, taking profits early is an eek. It's like, oh man, I should have let this ride. We would have made $3,000. All that thinking is very negative, right? On the whole, we took a very good trade. We managed our risk properly. We took, profits all the way up. And as soon as we topped up in here, which is our macro golden pocket, I had closed the trade. Okay, so that was the trading session today. Lots to be learned, lots to be had here. Right now, Bitcoin looking to continue upwards. Pretty nice move. However, we are in a key area of resistance in the golden pocket on a more macro look here. So will we get rejected from here? We'll have to see for that continuation of Bitcoin. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want to take your trading further, join the Discord, okay? The link's down below. Would love to have you over there. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. This is the Trading Journal. Peace.